Yo, what is up, y'all? In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to become a better player in 1v1.lol on mobile, PC, or controller. This is going to be a series on my channel where we are going to split 1v1.lol into 3 main categories: building, editing, and aiming. In today's video, we will be covering the building category. Let's get started. So, building, the ability to place a wall, floor, ramp, or pyramid. The question is, what is building used for? Well, first being defense, the coverage against enemy attacks, and 90s, a building technique used to gain a height advantage against the enemy, especially used in build fights. First, I will teach you how to use building as a source of defense. Watch how I place a wall before my enemy shoots me. I do that to prevent the bullet from hitting me. Here's me using it in an actual game. As you can see, me and my enemy are fighting. Right before my enemy shoots me, I place 2 walls to prevent from getting hit. By placing that wall, it prevented any more bullets that were coming towards me. It's kind of like a boxing match. Your enemy strikes, you block it, and then you try to strike yourself. The boxing match starts off. You strike, your opponent blocks, and your opponent strikes themselves. That's why you want to place a wall to prevent from getting shot, because you don't want to get hit by Mike Tyson, because if you do, we all know what happens. Hey. So, we talked about defense, but now it's time to talk about 90s. 90s are basically a building technique used to gain a height advantage against your enemy. Why would you want a height advantage in the first place? Well, if you have a height advantage, you have a great view on your player, which allows you to get some easy shots off, while your opponent does not have a good view on you, and it's harder for them to get shots on you. No matter if you're going against the worst player in the world, if they're able to get a height advantage on you and pull out their AR and spray you to death, well, goodbye. Now starting off with the first 90, I think you should learn if you're a beginner when it comes to doing 90s. To start off the standard 90, you're going to place a ramp. After you place a ramp, you're going to pick a side you want to walk up on. It doesn't matter, all preference. You're going to walk up the left or the right side of the ramp. Then you're going to turn 90 degrees and place 2 walls and place 1 wall below that. Then jump and place a floor and ramp. Then when you get faster and faster, it makes more and more sense. This 90 has a lot of protection, but it's also very hard to do on mobile due to the fact that you have to press a lot of building binds at the same time. And not just building binds, but also you have to jump and all that. Now I could go in more depth, but I also can't because there's not really much to it. That's really it. Just do that and get faster. Off with a spider 90. You're going to start off with a ramp just like usual. Pick a side you want to walk up on. You're going to walk up the side of the ramp, not the middle. If you don't, you will Harry Potter yourself. Walk up the side, and then you're going to turn 90 degrees. Do not place any walls. You're going to place 2 walls in front of you, jump, floor ramp. Repeat that process, and then you have the spider 90. Why is it called the spider 90? I don't know. We just call it that. So just chill out, alright? Once you get faster, you're going to be pleased with your results. However, this one does not have as much protection as standard 90 because instead of placing 4 walls, or as to say 3 walls, we're placing only 2 of them. The floor ramp 90 also goes by the Dr. Kai 90 or the shoe boost. Either way, it's most famous because of the speed that you can produce with this 90. And that's why it's my favorite 90 here. Now, for every single 90, you start off with a ramp. So you're just going to place a ramp just like normal. And then you're going to pick a side that you want to walk up on, the left or the right, all preference. Then after you pick a side that you want to walk up on, you're going to walk up that side. It's very important that you stay on that side of the ramp throughout the whole entire 90 or you will get stuck. First, you will walk up the side of the ramp. Then you will turn 90 degrees and jump and place a floor and ramp. Then repeat that process and then you have the full ramp 90. Each 90 is good for certain situations. Like the standard 90 is good because it has a lot of cover, so enemies won't be able to hit you due to the walls in the standard 90. The standard 90 is also harder to shoot down, so in game modes like Battle Royale or Zone Wars, you won't have to worry as much about getting shot down. However, it's still possible, it's just going to take longer. The floor ramp 90s are good for 1v1s or build fights because they're so fast. And even when you get shot down, they're so fast you can just build back up and just get right back where you were. This is the best way to get high ground. Just look at this high ground. This is only a few seconds of cranking, and I already got that high up in the air. However, these 90s can be easily shot down. So if you're in game modes that have fall damage, do not use these 90s because you can easily get shot down and die to fall damage. These 90s are so fast, you can't even really get shot because you're just moving so fast. You need to have good aim in order to get some shots off while someone's doing this 90. The Spider 90 is kind of in the middle of the standard 90 and the full ramp 90. They have some coverage, they're still fast. Spider 90 gives you the best of both worlds. The Spider 90 is good for making a quick base or coverage against your enemy. Do a quick Spider 90 and then now you have a little base to use against your enemy. I recommend mixing these 90s together. So doing the standard 90, the Spider 90, and the full ramp 90 all at one time. Now that I've taught you how to do the 3 main 90s in 1v1.lol and what 90 is best for certain situations, I'm gonna tell you 3 tips and tricks to achieve and get better at mastering those 90s. Tip 1. Be patient and have correct practice. It takes hours of consistent and constant practice to master these 90s. Over time, you will improve with correct practice. When I say correct practice, I mean actually improving, learning from your mistakes, figuring out what you're doing wrong and fixing it. If you're not doing that, you're not going to improve. Second tip, practice your 90s 1 rep at a time. What I mean by a rep is every time you turn 90 degrees in your 90. For example, this is 1 rep. This is another rep. Practice 1 rep at a time. So 1 rep, take a break, then do another rep. This is good when you first start. Tip 3, settings. Settings are very important. Doing these 90s will be almost impossible with the default setting with 2 fingers. So this is thumb or 2 fingers. The other picture is claw. Claw is when you use more than just your 2 thumbs to play. Why would you want to use claw anyways? Well, claw gives you the ability to do multiple actions at the same time, which is needed in order to do 90. You need to be able to jump, move, look around, and press all the building buttons at the same exact time. And you cannot do that with just 2 fingers. Here's me with just 2 fingers. I have to move my thumb to press the jump button. And you cannot do that when you're building. It needs to be smooth. You can't just pause and press the jump button or press the wall, jump, then press floor. You cannot do that if you want to become the best that you can. Now I'm using 4 fingers. I'm using my thumbs and my index fingers. Now I'm able to do multiple actions at the same time. I won't be going too in depth in this. I'm just going to give you a brief example. Now I do not play 4 fingers. I actually play with 6 fingers because I have a tablet and I have enough room to. I'm able to perform any action I want to, whatever I want to, and whenever I want to. Alright everyone, that's it for today's episode. Next episode will be on editing or aiming. I really hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just put it in the comment section. I put a lot of effort in this video, so if you can hit the like button and subscribe and hit that bell so you know exactly when I post my next episode, it would mean a lot to me. And now you know how to build in 1v1.lol.